This video is going to be on the first degree Neptune Challenge AR. It's the Titan rower. It comes in 2 boxes. The first box is huge. I haven't done an unboxing yet, so I'm not sure what is in there. The second box is a very small, narrow box. Goes way, way, way up there. It's really tall, and that appears to be the slider that the bench, that the seat is going to slide on. So I'm going to take this thing apart now. I'm going to take it out of the box. I'm going to put it upstairs and show you how to assemble it and how to fill it with water. If you like my videos, please do a thumbs up, a subscribe, and a like. Go to my channel page and click on the support button if you want to leave a donation. When I did the unboxing, I showed you what was inside the box. This is the seat rail in the large box. Then we have the water siphon. We have the clear plastic pouch with all the hardware and the tools, and we have 2 cardboard boxes. After the unboxing, we have the seat rail that I mentioned. We have the seat. We have, appears to be one of the legs that will go onto the back of the seat, or maybe at the end of the seat. And then we again have the tool package and the siphon. Inside this package we have some touch-up red paint, water treatment tablets, I believe are in this little package here, and this looks like a rubber foot or maybe some cap. I believe this is a cap that goes on the end of something. 2 batteries. We have this I think goes on the rail or the seat. We have some washers, 1 nut. We have some Allen head screws, and I think that's the plastic cap that they mentioned in the instructions. And we have a plate, I believe, that goes into the rail. And then we have a nut, I believe, that goes on the seat rail. And then we have some Allen head tools, Allen head wrenches. And then we have looks like a screwdriver and a nut driver, and a wrench. And I think that is a huge bolt that goes on here, and that is another bolt, and this looks like a spacer. Step number 1. This is the seat rail. You can see on the right there's a hole on the top, and on the left there is nothing, and we have the logo over here. Turn this thing over so that you have your 2 holes on the top left and your 1 hole on the top right. They've already got a bumper installed over here, which makes these instructions extremely confusing because it doesn't tell you that. So the instructions are going to really be confusing if you start following them. Now we have the seat over here. There's the seat standing on the floor. Here's the indentation. This is the front of the seat. This is the indentation. I want you to take the seat and flip it over so the indentation stays on your left like it is now. Flip it over so that you've got your parts, the bottom of the seat, hanging upward or pointing upward. And then you are going to take this and slide it into this gaposis over here. After you get that slid in there, it's okay to let it rest on the floor because you're going to be working on this end right now, where you're going to be installing a bumper and some pieces inside the back of here. Now if you follow the instructions, what they're going to do is they're going to have you do this with the seat facing upward and the rail facing in the other direction, and then you are going to end up turning it upside down. So it's easier just to turn it upside down in the beginning and follow my directions. You might want to keep everything inside this package and take it out, cut it out as you need it. You're going to need this bumper stop, and there are 2 flat-headed screws that are in this side of the package, that are the exact same screws that are used on this bumper. And you can see this bumper, it is beveled facing inward. You're going to do the same thing on this guy with it beveled facing this side. And I'm going to show you what that means in a minute. Get out your bumper stop and your 2 flat screws. You are also going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. If you want to use this thing that comes in the kit, that's up to you. You might want to just use a regular screwdriver. It will be a little easier to use. These are the 2 flat-headed screws that I was telling you about. 2 flat-headed screws. They're short. They came out of this side, and the bumper stop that came out of here is this guy. So we're going to go over to, remember the left side? We're going to go over to the left side. We're going to keep the bevel on the right. Remember over here we have the bevel facing inward. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to have this bevel facing this way, so that when the seat slides backward, it bumps into the rubber stop. We're going to take the two screws, going to put them into the holes over here, and then you are going to tighten them down. Don't tighten them so tight that you end up ruining the piece of rubber, or that you end up stripping the screw head. That's the side that was already done. It already had the beveled piece on there. On the right, you can see there is that one hole facing upward, and we go across over to here. We have the logo upside down. We have the two holes over here. We have the rubber piece with the two screws that I showed you, the flat-headed screws, screwed in, and the beveled part is here. The idea being that when the seat slides back and forth, when it hits the rubber stop, the seat stops, and same on the other end over there. So we've completed step one. I'm very happy that I'm making this video for people. I have spent half an hour looking at the drawing and these instructions, and I'm still stumped. I'm in the USA. I have no idea what these metrics mean. 11 by 21 by 2 by 3, 8.5 x 19 by 1.6t x 2. I don't know what any of this means. This bracket that I'm going to be needing, they listed a 60 by 40 by 4 by 1, yet the instructions don't say anything about these numbers. So it's going to take a while for me to get this together, but after it's finished, I would just follow my instructions to put this thing together, because their drawings are extremely confusing, very poorly written, and the layout for all these parts over here makes absolutely no sense. They have part numbers in the drawing, but they don't list any of the part numbers in the package. So give me some time and I will figure this out and help you put this thing together. You can ignore all of this stuff. Take out the 5 washers. There are 3 M10 washers. They are the large ones. There are 2 M8 washers. You're going to take the 2 small washers, which are M8. You are going to take the 2 small screws with the Allen head opening, and you're going to take this metal plate, and we are going to use these to mount that guy onto the seat rail. So what's going to happen, I'm going to show you, we're going to take the screw, we're going to put it through the red unit, shove it through the hole over here, put some washers in there, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You will also need the Allen head wrench. There's a large one and a small one. I'm assuming the small one is the M8 and the large one is the 10, but it looks like we will be using the small one. These instructions are terrible. You will be taking the washer and putting it on the screw. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put one washer, you're going to put one screw into the hole, and you are going to take this metal plate and you are going to slide it. You're going to have to turn the seat around. You're going to have to turn the rail around. So now I've got the seat facing upward. I think you can see that. I've got the seat facing upward. I'm now working on the side where those 2 holes were, and you will be taking this metal plate and inserting it into this thing so that it lines up with the 2 holes that are in there that we had facing the top. Now we're facing the bottom. So we're going to slide that in there until those 2 holes are lined up with the plate, and then we are going to take one screw and we're going to put it in here, and we're going to lift this rail up and start screwing the screws into the plate. I'll show you what that looks like. I have it turned on its side a little bit. I am holding the metal plate in the end. You want to work the back screw first, so there's the screw with the washer on it. I'm going through the hole. I'm going to turn it in with my fingers. Then I'm going to go to this hole, and I'm going to put the screw with the washer in to the other hole in the plate, and then I will tighten them down with that wrench. My advice to you is take the screws and put them through the plate first. The threading is very tight, and you can see I can't even turn it right now. So go in there and try to feed the screw first so that you can clear up the threads, and then it appears it's going to be a lot easier just to turn this thing back upside down and hold your plate inside the back, rest this piece on here, put your screws in there while you're holding the plate from behind, inside, tighten them down with your finger, and then use the wrench. So far I've spent about half an hour trying to understand the instructions, find the parts, and figure out how to put this thing together. It should all be done now, but very poorly laid out instructions. It appears this will be the best way to do it. Take the plate. We've got this thing upside down. Take the plate. After you put the screws through, you've got to do it with the wrench to loosen these tight threads. Slide this in here. Make sure that you get both of the holes lined up. After you get it lined up, then you will want to take this red unit, put it on top. Don't move this. Keep these lined up. You'll be able to place this guy on top, put your screws in there, and then tighten them down. Incredible how much time this took, how much time I wasted trying to get this working. You really need to feed the screws through first to clear out the threads, or this is never going to work easily. Do it upside down like I said. You can see it makes it much easier. You can get the plate lined up with the holes, place the red part over there, use your fingers, push the screws through, make sure that they feed through the threads, then go in there and put your wrench in there, tighten it down. If any of this is helping you, please go to my channel page, click on the support button, and leave a donation. Thank you. Everything is tightened down now, so let's go over some of this. The seat, I'll show you how that's positioned in a minute, but we put the stopper on there with the two flat-headed screws, the two short screws with the washer, then this red leg part. The metal plate is on the inside, and then we will be using this rubber cap that comes with it, and the rubber cap is going to go on the end to cover up the opening. The rubber cap has some writing on there, so if you're worried about it, make sure that you position it facing upward, slide it into the opening over there, and we'll go all the way down the rail just so that you can see the seat. Again, the indentation is towards the back. Next step, you will be using the M10 dome nut that is sitting in the back of this left side over here that I can't get out. You're going to be using the dome nut. We're going to be using two of these. I believe we're using two of the washers. But all that we have left are M10 washers, so keep that in mind. We have two bolts. We have a 95, an M10 95, and an M10 180. You're going to be using the short one, the M10 95. So get your M10 95, get your dome nut, and keep your washers handy. Absolutely incredibly terrible directions and instructions in this book. You're going to need two of the three washers that we have left over, which are M10. You're going to need the dome nut, and you are going to need the short bolt. We're going to be connecting this thing that we just put together. We're going to be connecting this to the unit. This is the main unit, and we're going to be connecting that bolt. I'm going to go all the way underneath. There's the water tank over there. We're going to be going to this hole. Can you see that? We're going to be going to this hole right over here, which is right underneath the foot rests, the left and right side. So there's a hole over here. It goes all the way through. Let me show you the other side. There's the other side over there. There is the hole right over there, right underneath those two bolts. It's the bottom leg over here. So we're going to be taking the seat rail, and that's the top of the seat rail. That's the seat. We're going to be lining this hole up. This hole over here, that bolt is going to go through the hole that I just showed you on the unit. We're going to put a bolt with a washer, and then we're going to slide it through this hole over here, outside the other part of that red unit, and put a washer on there, and then the dome nut. I'm looking underneath, but this is the bottom of the right footrest. That's the bolt that's going through. You're going to be putting a washer on one side on this side, on the far side. You're going to line your seat rail up into this area. You're you're going to put the bolt through the seat rail. It's going to come out this other end here, and there should be enough room to put another washer and the dome nut. Here we have the seat, the indentation at the back, the rail going through. We're going to be using this hole here. There's a hole underneath that we're going to be using the last bolt, but you can see the rail is positioned there. I'm going to show you the bottom right now. And there's the bolt going through, and now I'm going to put the washer on there and then put the nut on there and tighten it down. You will be using the nut wrench that came with the thing. The screwdriver's on the end. The nut wrench is over there, so you'll tighten that down. You won't need to put anything on the other side, just tighten down the nut. You will also be using the large Allen wrench, that's the M10. So you'll put this on one side, you will use the nut wrench on the other side and tighten everything down. Again, some of the worst instructions ever. You're going to be using the last bolt, the very large bolt. You're going to be using the damper piece, the last M10 washer, the last M10 nut, not the dome nut, but the nut that's in the corner over here, and this plastic, whatever it's called, plastic dome cap. Get everything out of the package. The only thing that will be remaining are your 2 batteries. Again, terrible instructions. You're going to be putting this dome cap, get that position ready. Extremely bad instructions, so follow the video. You're going to take this plastic piece, this dome cap, and you are going to take your bolt and put it through. Now, you're not going to go all the way through. Let me show you where it's going to go. You see it? See that bolt drops down all the way to the bottom? You're not going to want that to happen. What you're going to want to do is, after you go through the seat rail over here, you are going to take this damper, this rubber piece, and you're going to raise the bolt up, put the damper between the seat rail and the bottom down there, and then slide the bolt through. After you do that, then you will be using the washer and the nut on the bottom to tighten down the bolt. Now what they want you to do is they want this center leg unweighted when you're not sitting on it. They want you to tighten this bolt so that it raises up the center leg about 3 to 5 millimeters off the ground. They don't want it sitting flat on the ground, they want it raised up. And I believe 5 millimeters is something like 1/8 of an inch to 3/16 of an inch or something like that. But they don't want this sitting on the floor. They want it so that when you slide your seat, it will put pressure and this will go downward, but normally they want this off the floor. If you're going to have, if you notice hopping or things bouncing around, it's probably your vertical nut over here, your vertical adjustment needs to be fixed up again. Let me show you how that works now with the damper down in here. It's hard to get a good angle, but I've got the screw. You can see the bolt that's going down to the bottom. And I have the dome cap on there. So this is a very awkward unit to put together, let me tell you. But you want to get that rubber damper. I believe you can see that in the video now. And then the bolt is going to go all the way down, all the way through the bottom. See that rubber damper? And then on the bottom, you should be able to reach underneath and get the nut and the washer tightened down. There it is. That's the bolt going through and the rubber damper going through that hole. Then you're going to go underneath and tighten. You're going to put on the washer and the nut and start tightening them down until this center leg over here starts to raise up off of the floor. You are going to have to raise it up with your hand or a book or something so that you can get underneath there and put the washer and nut on the bolt. I've got some stands underneath the feet so that I can reach underneath without this falling on my fingers and crushing my hand. That will allow me to go in here, put the wrench in, the large wrench in this bolt and get underneath with the other wrench and start tightening down the nut. Again, this is way too high. 3 to 5 millimeters off the ground, maybe 1/8 of an inch to 3/16 of an inch off the floor. And you will be using the small wrench, not the large one, the M8, the small one. There's a better view of, that's the nut that we're tightening down. The tension rod, that's the nut. And that's the screw over there. You can see it says to adjust, see manual. That's what I just walked you through. When you're going back and forth on the bench, if things start bouncing around, then you're going to want to lower this closer to the ground, to the floor. That's the full assembly. I haven't put the water in there, but that's what you're going to need to do to assemble this whole unit. So my video should make it much easier than following the instructions, which are extremely poorly written. The monitor display is down over there, and we have the handles. There is cabling. The cords are underneath this. Here's the center post over here. The cords are underneath here. So if you're going to do this on the carpet, you definitely want to do what I did here and raise this up on something to get some height. Otherwise, all those cables underneath there are going to be scraping on your carpet and tearing it apart. I'm going to be filling this thing up with water tomorrow, and then I'll finish the video. The final step in getting everything set up is filling the tank with water. There is a calibration line with this white line over here. You do not want the water to go above it, or you could cause leakage or leaking problems. On the top is the water control knob, and you want it to be at maximum. They overstress this numerous times in the instructions that if it is not at maximum when you are filling the tank, that you could put too much water into it and that it could cause flooding or damage. So when you fill the tank, make sure that this knob is all the way to the left, like it was shipped, to the maximum position, MAX. In the package, it comes with a siphon so that you can suck the water out of the water bottle or bucket or tank and put it into the rowing tank. I don't know if I can use a funnel, but I might try using the funnel. It looks like this is thicker and it might transfer more water into the tank. There are 5 United States gallons of water. It will use a little bit less than 5 US gallons of water, or 17 liters of water, to fill it up to the line, the calibration line. Do not go above that line. On the top of the tank is the fill valve. You will loosen that, open it up, pull it out, so that you can fill it up with water. The cap just pushes into that hole, but as the instructions say, make sure when you are finished that this little ring goes past the plastic part of the tank to make a good seal. You don't want to just pop it in there and leave it over here. You want to move it all the way up until it is completely sealed, or you could cause water leakage. Now the opening is really big, so you should be able to use a funnel if you want to, and it might make it a little bit easier, or you might end up spilling the water, and the siphon that it comes with may be a better way to go. So I'm going to fill it up with the almost 5 gallons of US water until it gets to the calibration line. Again, keeping the dial at max. Water bottle, long hose of the siphon, small hose goes into the tank, squeeze the handle, let the water fill up. Use distilled water. They say you can use regular water. They would prefer you use distilled so that you don't have problems with mineral buildup. 5 gallons, 88 cents a gallon. It's worth using the distilled water. 17 liters equals about 4.5 gallons of water. So I used about 4.5 gallons. It's a little bit under the line. Now you need to take your 2 batteries, put that into the display unit. Make sure you put them in the right direction. And then I'm going to turn this thing on and see how it works. When you switch the levels on this, as the instructions tell you, when you go from minimum to maximum, it takes about 2 strokes for the water to move into the right part of the reservoir, the water reservoir. So you will not notice the resistance, or you won't notice more resistance or less resistance for a couple of strokes. That didn't sound right. Strokes. Okay, batteries are in, display is on. Shows your level and your pulse. I don't know where that pulse is unless I need to use the heart monitor. Who knows what that is? I don't know what any of this means. Look at your instructions to figure it out. Gonna get on this thing now and check it out. It does come with adjustable foot pads, so you want your strap to go maybe not all the way to the top of your foot. Let me show you. You want the strap to go somewhere around here. So lift this thing up. Position it wherever you need to put the pegs so that the strap, when your heel is in here, the strap goes to the right location. Nice thing, if this should break, not that it will, but if it breaks, it's got screws. You should be able to buy replacement foot pedals and straps. I tested this out before I put water in it, so I don't really know what to expect. I've got my feet adjusted. I might have to, my feet adjusted, that didn't sound right. I've got that adjusted. It should probably go a little bit further up the foot. You want the feet held down securely. I think you know how to row, but it's mostly legs, arms, arms, legs. So what you're going to do is you're going to lean forward. I'm no expert at this, but you're going to lean forward. You're going to extend out like this. You're going to pull this way. You're going to lean back a little bit. Then you're going to go forward, and you're going to lean forward. So it's legs, arms, legs, arms, arms, legs. So let's test this out. I've got it on maximum. Probably going to take a few tries for the water to move through. And unless you're used to this, trying to do that legs, arms, arms, legs is really odd. It's not a normal pattern the body would want to do. Legs, arms, arms, legs. And I know my stroke is not right. That doesn't sound proper that my stroke is wrong. But I'm new to this. What do I think of it? Arms, arms, legs, legs, arms, arms, legs, legs, arms, arms, legs, legs, arms, arms, legs. So what's the display show? Display shows that I've been doing this for 38 seconds. I've got, I don't even know what that is. 1P, level 1, I don't know what level 1 is. I don't know what any of this stuff means right now. You can buy a heart monitor if you want to. I understand that when you do this for the first time, see, I'm already messing my stroke up. I'm a guy, so we don't know how to really do our stroke properly. And my feet are not held down well. That's why I'm rocking here. You can buy a heart monitor for about 50 bucks if you want to that will connect to this unit. See, my feet are going up like that. You don't want that. You want to have your feet so they stay in place. Legs, arms, arms, legs, legs, arms, arms, legs, legs, arms, arms, legs. So I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of comments on if I'm doing it right or wrong. I'm already out of breath. I will say that. I'm totally out of breath right now. Arms, arms, legs, legs, arms, arms, legs. My breathing's starting to build up a little bit, and I don't feel tired right now, but my heart rate is going up. And I'm sure that by tomorrow, from what I've read, by tomorrow I will feel this in all the muscles. That's my video. I do hope that it helped you put your unit together. Again, to me the instructions were extremely bad. Maybe they will be good for you, but for me I thought they were terrible. That's why I wanted to make the video so that it was easily understandable how to do this. If the video helped, do a thumbs up, a subscribe, a like. If you want to go to my channel page again and click on the support button and leave some donation, that would be awesome. And if you don't, that's okay too. Yeah, I'm trying to catch my breath now. So this is, I'm happy with this. Make sure that when you put the water in, put about a couple liters or a gallon of water in there and check to make sure that it's not leaking from the tank. The water is below the center point over here, so you're not you shouldn't have a problem with the water shooting out from the seal. Now they say that if you want to store this, you can take this unit and lift it up onto the wheels like this. If you do that, it goes up about 7 feet in the air, like 78 inches, so it goes up really far. And they do say in the instructions that the seal will not leak. Well, that's good, but I really don't want 5 gallons of water maybe leaking out of here and causing me property damage. So I found a place where I could just leave this out, so when I want to sit on it at night, I can do that. I'm really happy. It's quiet. I know my feet are not strapped in. And I'm going slow enough where I'm just trying to do my form right now. So I don't really need to worry about. And I'm not going to extend all the way out because I don't want to cause myself any knee problems. That's why I'm not going all the way back. I'm happy with the product. Definitely expensive. It's not cheap, but better to put the money into your health than to give it to a doctor or your insurance company. That's my video. Work out every day and stay healthy.